welcome back to another episode of the Discovery Pod with Eve. I am Eve Richards. We've got an exciting show today with a music legend, Carol Connors. More on Carol in a minute. I am so excited to be joined today by my co-host, Tess Broussard. It's actually a French name, so I hope I pronounced it correctly. But Tess is a Southern belle, originally from Texas. She's a model. She's been a poster girl for Budweiser, Harley-Davidson calendar, editorial model in FHM magazine. She's done it all. So it's so exciting to be with Tess. Tess, I'm so glad to have you today. Welcome.
Good morning, Eve.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great now that I'm here.
Was there a lot of traffic coming in?
There was, especially through Hollywood. Everybody was going to Runyon Canyon. So I'm like passing the diesel trucks, passing these little Fiats, and they're all looking for parking spots, and I'm just like flying. I'm surprised I didn't get a ticket.
Tess and I had a great conversation last night. I had just come back from the East Coast, and we were on the phone forever, and we could talk on and on and on. So,
absolutely.
Tell the listeners something about you.
Well, I love doing animal volunteer work. I rescue dogs I do fostering at Dogs Without Borders.
Wow.
And they are in Los Feliz. They're in different places. And there's a new one, the Caring Song, and that's in Brentwood, like on Montana and on 16th Street. They have dogs, cats. They have tons of incredible animals, small, big, large, and they're just looking for a home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So I devote my weekends there.
Aww.
And, there's so many unloved pets that need homes, and they're just so sweet. And I can only have so much in my place because, they're kind of expensive. And, if my daughter had her wish, she would take all of them home.
Oh my goodness!
Then where would I sleep?
That's fantastic. What a great story! And of course, you're a single mother. Kudos to all the single mothers out there. Your journey, I was so inspired by your story. Are there any other projects that you'd like the audience to know that you're working on? I know you're such a busy person. So,
well, thank you, Eve. Yeah, I've got some things on the horizon that I'm working with my agent on, and we're actively looking at those things. And we'll get back to you soon on that. Can't really talk about it right now.
Of course, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
So I am so excited about our guest, Carol Connors. She's a legend. Oh my gosh.
You know what? She is amazing. I mean, amazing. When I came in, I told her that for my duet, for my recital in piano, it was Gonna Fly Now, and I played
from the Rockies.
Yes,
right?
from the Rockies. That
was
and I'm meeting the goddess here.
I know, how fantastic. I gotta say, I met Carol a few times at the Hollywood Museum events, and then most recently in June. She is the most down-to-earth, loving celebrity. She doesn't have it's like she talks to you and makes you feel, she draws you in. I was at awe at how wonderful she is. And it's so incredible that we get to interview her.
She is so sweet.
So,
I mean, there's not one thing. I met her for like all of 20 seconds, and there's not one bad thing I can come up with. And I'm trying so hard because...
I can help you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the rare opportunity today to explore the life of Carol Connors, a legendary figure whose music has become part of the cultural fabric of our world, from co-writing the iconic Rocky theme, Gonna Fly Now. I'm not gonna try to sing, to her upcoming docufilm, Elvis, Rocky, and Me. And she also has a book titled Elvis, Rocky, and me as well. Carol's life is a testament to resilience, passion, and the transformative power of creativity. She has not only shaped the soundtracks of our lives, but also carved a path through the ever-evolving music industry, facing personal and professional challenges with grace. What does it take to remain relevant in a world that's constantly changing? How does one turn life's intimate experiences into music that speaks to the soul? Today, we'll delve into those questions and more with Carol, looking beyond the music to the deeper stories that shaped her journey. Carol?
Yes.
It is so great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Of course, I don't believe everything you've said, obviously. I mean, I'd like to, and I appreciate you both feeling that way. And ba 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 ba.
Yes. Hold on, Carol, stop for a second. Let me get to my question before we get there. So, Carol, your musical background is so impressive.
Thank you.
Your song, Gonna Fly Now, is like one of the most well-known anthems to me in cinematic history. And besides playing it, as a duet in my recital, you also got your first Oscar nom there.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah,
it was,
impressive.
thank you.
So tell me, how did you get hired to do this? Wait, and tell me the process that you came up for this song, for the Rocky Gonna Fly Now.
Well, first of all, we had an agent named Stan Melander, and it was Bill Conti, myself, and Ann Robbins. And he said, "There's a little film being done. Why don't you go look at it? They're interested in a song." So we all went to the screening room, as you know, and there was a rough cut. Like if I would go and hit you, you would hear no sound effects. You know how rough cuts are. So we're all sitting there, and there's a song that comes on. And it goes, "He's got a Sunday punch that will put you into Monday." So I go to Bill Conti. I say, "Why do they want us? That's pretty good." And Bill said to me, "Shut up, Carol." Just like that.
Wow.
Just like this?
Well, no, he actually said it in my ear. And I went, okay.
Wow.
And the film goes on, and the film ends.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the sequence of the running and everything, and this little man stands up, and he says to John Avildsen, who was the director, he said, "John," very soft-spoken, "you have a wonderful film here.
Aww.
John," and now
nice.
kept going up a decibel, "you have a great film here. John, you're going to be nominated for an Oscar for this. John, you're going to win an Oscar. John, this film is going to win Best Picture.
Oh, that's
If you do one little thing."
that's fantastic.
And all of us are sitting there going, there's Frank, well, he wasn't there. There's Sly, there's Sasha, there's Erwin Winkler, Robert Chardoff, we're all there. And all of us go, "What?" And this, I'm not going to use the word because I don't think I can say the word. He said, "Get rid of that blankety blank song."
Wow.
Which was the song I thought was so cool.
Who wrote that one?
Frank Stallone.
Wow.
So he did write it.
Yes. And they would not, and Bill Conti came to my home. They all came to my home.
Wow.
And Bill sits down at my piano and he goes, "Ba ba 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 ba," and I go, "What is anybody going to write to that?" And they all left, and I went into the shower.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And I'm in the shower, and all of a sudden, I see the film running through my head. I see life. I see the song. And I picked up the phone. This is the day before cell phones. Picked up the phone, and I called Bill. And I said, Bill, I know what life's about. I know what the film's about. I know what the song's about. And he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm in the shower."
Wow, that's fantastic.
And he said,
Okay.
"Are you by yourself?" I said, "Bill, would I be calling you if I was with somebody? I'm a Scorpio."
Yeah.
And he said, "Give me the line before you electrocute yourself."
That's incredible.
And the line was going to fly now.
Wow.
Because at that way, I must finish this
Oh.
because it's, I think, rather important. At that moment in time when he climbs those steps, and he goes into slow motion, John Avildsen, and he puts up his arms, he could do anything. He could win, he could go the distance, he could even fly. And that's where the title came from.
Did you come up with the title?
No, the water in the shower came up with the title.
Oh, yes.
I came up with the title.
Of course.
Yeah, I did.
Your upcoming docufilm, Elvis, Rocky and Me, dives into your life story. Was there a particular moment in your journey that, while revisiting for the film, felt like it defined who you've become today?
There were many moments. I mean, some were wonderful because of the way it all started with Phil Spector. Excuse me. And some very sad, some very tragic. But I think that what happens when that happens, because it was very difficult to write the book and to do the documentary.
Yeah.
You have to go. I'm blessed, thank you, God. I'm not a religious fanatic, but I am blessed with being able to see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I see the scene.
Wow.
And I was able to relive all those moments that are in the book. By the way, you can get it at Amazon and Book Soup and Barnes and Noble and wherever. We were number 4 behind Taylor Swift. I
That's
guess I'm a
incredible.
Swiftie. She was 1, 2, and 3, and I was 4.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
outstanding.
But all those moments of your life, it's difficult to relive them because some are joyous and some are not.
Well, that's incredible.
But
Congratulations.
when I started the project with Dahlia and Chip, I said, "Don't whitewash me. If I'm going to tell this story, I have to tell the story the way it is."
Can
That's
I see
amazing.
that book cover?
Of course, yeah.
That's the cover. And then the back is with Phil Spector, Marshall Lee, the other teddy bear. We were called the Teddy
Teddy
Bears.
Bears,
To
right.
know him. That
Please
was
sing.
me. I was the voice.
So
That's a beautiful song.
just to piggyback on that with the book, Elvis, Rocky and Me, which, Tess currently has. So for anyone, please go pick
Please
up a
get
copy.
it, please get it.
Please go pick up a copy. Barnes and Noble and wherever you can purchase books. Amazon as well.
It sounds like such an interesting life that you had. I would love
Have.
to read.
So
Have. I'm still here.
Have,
I'm a
yes.
lyricist and a composer, so not had, I'm still living.
Sorry, excuse me. Have. I'm going to definitely get one.
yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
going
you.
back to just to piggyback with the book, you're sharing more of your personal story. How has opening up changed your perspective on the impact of your legacy?
All I can say is that, as I said, and I'm being redundant, I did make the statement, do not whitewash me, because I didn't want to just be, she did this and she wrote that and she did this, but I wanted to talk about what life was really about. For me, I mean, in a time when I was starting, which was 19... there weren't any people, any females, especially writing for film and television. Yeah. There was Carol Bayer Sager,
Yeah.
Marilyn Bergman, who was married to Alan Bergman, and me.
Wow.
And I didn't marry anybody.
Wow.
So I sort of forged that part of my life on my own.
Congratulations.
And that song, the Cobra song,
Hey, little cobra, don't you know you're gonna shut 'em down? I took my cobra down the track.
was it was a hot rod song that you were like the only female that wrote that, and it became a big hit. And tell me something, the creator of the Cobra, was it
Carol Shelby.
Carol Shelby? Now, did he give you
Yes.
that Cobra that's
Yes.
yours? Because
It's worth $2.5 million today, and
Do you
thanks
still
to
have it?
No, I don't. But we don't want to. I don't want to have a fit and then go kill somebody. So let's just leave it at that. I don't
Okay.
still own it.
Oh.
But it. I had two Cobras.
Wow.
I had one that was a 260. If you know your cars, I know a lot. Carol Shelby taught me all these terms, and then that one, which was a 289, and it had a high-rise manifold. It turned out 327 horsepower.
Oh my!
I'm the only girl who ever owned one, and I was very young, and in those days you couldn't really have insurance. So my first Cobra was registered under my mother's name because I was on my parents' insurance.
Aw, wow, that's
Seriously.
Wow.
But Carol Shelby said he loved to know him is to love him. It's been the key, as Dahlia says, the producer, to my entire life.
Wow.
From To Know Him Is to Love Him to Carol Shelby to Rocky. And he said to me, he was from Texas, if you write a song about my car and it becomes a big hit, I'll give you one and
Wow.
I'll take you to Le Mans.
Oh,
Ooh
he
la
should have
la.
given you
Ooh
more.
la la.
That was good advertisement for him.
Millions, according to Ford Motor Company, every 2.34 2 minutes and 34 seconds of free advertising.
so,
I was told that by Ford.
Oh my goodness.
So you've known some of the biggest names in music, including
Well, thank
Elvis
you.
Presley.
Knew him? He was my first boyfriend.
Yes. So looking back,
Do tell.
how did your connection with him influence your understanding of fame? And did it change how you approached your career?
Well, I met him because he fell in love with To Know Him Is to Love Him. He loved my
Wow.
voice.
That's
And Phil
fantastic.
Spector, who was a genius of rock and roll, we're not going to talk about what happened later on in life, but he wrote it for my voice. And Elvis always said to the Memphis Mafia,
Yeah.
I love that girl's voice. I love to meet her. I love to imitate everything.
Oh my gosh.
And so he said, I'd love to meet that girl.
Wow.
One day a guy came, it's in the book,
Yes.
came up to me, and the first words that Elvis ever said to me, I'll never forget this. He was on the other side of the room, and he came over to me, and he said, so why'd you name the group Teddy Bears? That was the name of our group.
Right.
And I looked and I said, oh my gosh, it really is Elvis Presley. And I didn't know what to say.
Where were you?
At his house.
Wow.
I was brought to the house.
Was
Not
there an
Graceland,
event?
not Graceland. No, it's this young man met me in a market and said, aren't you the girl that sang To Know Him Is to Love Him?
Wow.
And I went, yeah. And he said, Elvis would love to meet you. And I went, yeah, right, sure. But I gave him my phone number.
Wow.
And those were his first words to me. And I didn't know what to say.
Oh
and I'm
my
staring
gosh.
at Elvis Presley. And I
Wow.
went, just want to be your teddy bear. And that started our love affair.
He
Oh
is
my
such
gosh.
a king. I
Wow.
mean, he's
I went with him for 9
handsome.
months.
And that
Wow.
voice,
Didn't have a
too.
baby. Too stupid.
You should have
had a
gotten
baby, right? So why didn't you?
Because I'm stupid.
No, you
That would have
Do you
been
know-
such a beautiful
Carol,
kid between you
he's
and
had
him.
some
had
Right.
a Presley, a big Presley now, but
Like that would have been incredible. So looking back at your, when you dated Elvis, what lessons did you learn from him?
Fame at that level
Yeah.
is incredibly difficult.
Difficult. Wow.
Good choice of words. Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And I have always said that if Elvis would have done A Star Is Born, because he was offered the role that the late Chris Christopherson,
Yes.
who just passed away, did, Elvis, I think, would have lived. He wanted to be respected. We stayed friends
Wow.
all through his life. I was in Vegas at the last set of performances before he passed away.
Oh my gosh. Sad.
And I've always said that, but Colonel Parker and Streisand
Yeah.
were like at odds ends, and they turned down the film.
By the way,
question.
so this is such a beautiful picture of you. I don't think
Thank
folks
you.
can see this.
Yeah, I told
you
Roger that.
look like, oh my God.
I was a
This is-
kid.
Like, I don't think, can folks really see how
Oh, aren't you
beautiful
sweet?
the cover of Elvis, Rocky, and Me is?
Thank you.
You're
Yeah, and I
gorgeous.
was against that cover.
It's
but
beautiful.
the other writer, Steven Bergsman, who I would dictate the book to, he was adamant about that cover.
This is incredible. You
Adamant,
have that
adamant,
infectious-
adamant.
infectious smile.
Thank you.
Well, can I ask you
Yes.
about your younger days?
Okay.
Did you go by the other name, Annette?
Well, my real name is Annette Kleinbard.
Wow.
You try pronouncing that one.
I have so
Annette
many Jewish
Kleinbard.
friends. My daughters have Jewish.
All right.
So, yeah. Now, who came up with the name Carol Connors?
I did. But the reason I changed my name was not was I grew up under Annette Funicello's ears. And in school, you know, I was a 32 minus trainer A bra. And she went on to the Mouseketeers, and she became like a 38 overnight. You know, I mean, she was gorgeous. Yeah. And all the boys in school would come up to me and in our gym outfits, and they'd go like this, and they'd look at my chest, and they'd go, Annette, why aren't your ears growing? And I was so embarrassed, I would run home and I would cry. Now, my father had been a jockey, and they live on the edge, and my dad would always say things like, Annette, anything more than a handful is too much. You know, I mean, my father's saying that to me. I'm a kid.
Wow.
You should have, yeah. You should
So I
have
changed
that.
my name.
Oh, wow.
Because of her.
So,
And I thought, I love the name Carol, and I thought that Connors, it's an alliteration. Carol Connors went together. Did I know there'd be 500 Carol Connors,
Well, it sounds good.
including a porno queen?
You know, there is one.
I know. She was in Deep Throat.
Wow.
She played the nurse. You have no idea the problems I've had over that.
so as someone who's deeply touched people around the world,
You throw me off.
sorry, your story is incredible, and we have such a short period of time.
Okay,
We want to
okay, I'm listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. Okay.
so the listeners can
Okay.
You've touched so many people around the world. I mean, how do you stay grounded? How do you maintain a sense of self when your music often transcends even your...
When you're writing, you're not thinking about anything but the song. Okay? That's it. Like when I wrote with you, I'm Born Again. Come bring me your softness, blah, 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 blah. Big number one record. The bottom line is you just don't think about what could be or what will be or what people... You hope that people are going to love what you're doing. But you don't get caught up in that. You are caught up in the actual art of writing the song. And that you can't help yourself. It's haunting. There are times when I have cried.
Wow.
I remember one of my boyfriends saying in the middle of the night, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "I can't get the melody out of my head. It's haunting me." So but I don't think as a songwriter, and Diane Warren's one of my dearest friends,
Yeah,
and
she's
we've talked
fantastic.
about I call her the goat.
She's fantastic.
I call her the goat.
Yeah.
But I think that you don't think about things like that.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't even enter your consciousness.
Wow.
All you're doing is doing what you're doing at the moment.
When did you know that you had a knack for this?
When I was in the incubator and they wheeled in a baby grand piano.
Okay, good
It's
answer.
been my
I'll
life.
take that.
I was 4 pounds 2 ounces. So I was an incubator baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to Elvis, just because everyone is
Of
gonna be
course.
fascinated with that.
Yes.
I mean, you kind of alluded to it a little bit about having a kid with him. I mean, you should have gotten married to him.
Well, he had met Priscilla,
Okay,
but he had not married her.
got it.
But he had met her. He thought that we resembled each other. And I have a picture of Priscilla and myself. Trust me,
Wow.
we did resemble each other. And I did her first film. I did the theme song for her first film.
What was
it? It was called Come Back or Love is Forever was the name of the song. And Laura Branigan sings it. She had the song Gloria. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, he really was my first love.
Tell
He
me
really
this.
was.
Can I ask you, where did he take you? Did he take you out a lot, or what was your you guys' favorite place to go?
They
out
never
to?
went out. Elvis did not go out.
Wow.
Did you ever see him at a premiere?
No.
Have you ever seen a
No.
picture of Elvis at a premiere?
Come to think of it, no.
Elvis, he was a homebody. He was a Southern gentleman.
Wow.
He brought it's like Hefner. He brought
Everything
everything
came
to
to
him.
him. Wow.
And he had what's known as his friends and relatives were called the Memphis Mafia. That was their nickname.
Wow.
And Joe Esposito was his right-hand man. And then, of course, Colonel Parker was the lead. And I once said to Joe many, many years ago before, wait, Roger, you know that he passed away.
Who, Colonel Parker?
Well, no, Joe Esposito.
Oh, wow.
And I once said to Joe, I said, Joe, did Elvis really, really care about me? Isn't that a question we all girls ask?
Yes, of
Did
course.
he really love me? Did he
Yeah.
really care? And he said, Carol, he adored you. He thought you were so funny.
Was he the one that got away?
Elvis? No, I think that Elvis, it just ran its course. I was at an age where I wanted to go out and I wanted to party and I wanted to
Yes.
go dancing.
And he was a homebody.
Yes.
Did he cook for you or anything? Did he?
Well-
What did he do special for you?
Made love.
Wow, that's a good one. So
Finally, but it took a long. Oh my God, are you kidding?
What do you
At-
mean?
At that time of my life, he was my first boyfriend. Months and months went by.
Wow.
Let's just leave it at that.
Gosh.
So tell our listeners about your docufilm, Elvis, Rocky and Me. What do you want to share about the docufilm?
I think that it was directed by a very wonderful director called Alex Rotaro, who has won many, many awards, and the producers are Chip Rosenblum and Dahlia Hyman. And it's a journey. I'm going to use the same word, so I don't mean to be redundant. It didn't whitewash my life.
That's good.
It told the good, it told the bad,
That's
and it told the
great.
ugly.
Yes.
And I think that it's a lesson in. I once said on a People magazine article, I said, if you don't eat it, sleep it, think it, drink it, need it, forget it. You must have laser beam clarity in our profession.
Yes.
And I think I did. And I think it allows young people, and especially young ladies, to know that just do it. Just go for it, and my mother was very, very wonderful to me. So was my father.
Wow.
But my mother wanted me to live in a little house, get a picket fence, get married, have children. But yet she didn't stifle me.
That's
She knew
wonderful.
that I had this journey.
Yeah.
And I think the book is the journey.
Wow.
And maybe, hopefully, will help somebody else that wants to get started in a very
Amazing.
treacherous business.
Yes, it's a
Tell
crazy
me how,
business.
For like younger people who want to come into the business, and you were like so fantastic and amazing, and you have so many hits and you have so many accolades.
Thank you.
How did you have, first of all, any rejections growing up, and then after that, how did you handle it?
Well, I always believed that after To Know Him Is to Love Him, which became the #1 record in the world at the time, and the group broke up. I had a terrible car accident. I went off a cliff in Mulholland, not in the Cobra, in an MG. But I always believed that Phil Spector, who was a genius, I'm not putting down his brilliance because he really was, but I always believed that he was like a Svengali, that he tried to keep me out of the business. And it's like I could never seem to attain that dream. I always wanted to have another record, another #1 at that time with my singing. It just eluded me constantly. But he was very he was difficult. And if you know the stories of Phil Spector, and there's so many.
So yes, it's out there.
And Darlene Love, who had many, many hits with him, I was with her in Houston recently, and she said that all the years that Phil was part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that Phil kept her out of the industry, out of getting into the Hall of Fame. The minute he passed away.
blacklisted.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. And
He must
And
have
I'm-
been jealous.
no, he was just Svengali.
Wow.
Anything that he built, he would destroy.
I think his life story was just like
And but the minute he died, the next year
She
she got in
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is such a story.
And I believe that he tried to do that with me. I mean, when he heard that I did Walt Disney's The Rescuers, because I did the music and lyrics to that,
Yes.
it was like, what?
Wow.
I mean, Rocky was bad enough, but then to do the...
What did you win for The Rescuers?
What?
What did you win with The Rescuers? What's
We
the-
were up, well, many different awards for children. It was the highest grossing animated film at its time.
Wow.
And I did 4 of the music, all the music by myself of all the 4 of the songs. And the 5th one was done by the famous Sammy Fain, and I wrote all the lyrics with Ann Robbins. We were up for another Oscar.
How long
Wow.
did that take you to do that?
4.5 years.
So
That's how long it takes to do an animated film. Because when I went to Woolley Reitherman, who was the director, who had done Bambi and he had done Snow White and Cinderella, and I said, well, how long until the film is out? And when I first saw the first storyboard, and he said to me, 4.5 years. And my answer was, I'm going to be old.
So, Carol, when I look at your body of work, your journey, you've achieved so much.
Thank you.
How do you?
I don't see it that way,
You
but thank
have.
you.
So, how do you continue to find inspiration when you've done so much?
Because there's inspiration around you all the time. People say things. I used to say, oh, that's a great line. Somebody would say something, and then the next thing I would hear would be that they'd want to share in the royalties. So now I just go into a room and I write it down.
Oh, yes, never tell anybody.
You know? But people say things to you, things come out in your heart. I mean, look what the world is going through right now. It's so tragic, the sadness and the
Yes.
not being able to get along. It's just horrific.
As a follow-up to that question, where you've been part of some of the most iconic music moments in history, what do you want the next chapter of your life to look like?
Oh. Well, I want to be mobile.
Yes, we all do.
We all do.
Yes.
I want to be able to climb up and down the stairs of my
You
house
will.
Yes.
and not get one of those things that
You
they
will.
advertise
Stair climber
that
with a
freaks
chair.
me out.
No, you will. You've got such an infectious
And I don't
energy.
want to have one of those bathtub things.
Oh my gosh, I would love that because it seems like it's easy to fill up. You just walk
No,
in,
I don't-
and
it-
you can fill bubbles up with it. It looks
I
fun.
take showers.
Oh.
I'm a scuba diver, so I don't like to sit in. I don't like hot water.
Talking about scuba diving, all right, so let's go to lifestyles of the rich and
Oh.
famous. Tell us a little bit about that. And you wrote the song, the
Champagne
jingle.
Wishes and Caviar Dreams.
Well, nice.
Okay.
And Dionne Warwick recorded it.
Wow.
She was just coming off That's What Friends Are For.
Yeah.
And she was hotter than a pistol. And I knew that that was the voice. Because you sort of sometimes figure out the voice you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that was the voice that was for that song.
Wow.
And she did it. And, it's, what can I tell you? We were in the recording studio and she was doing some changes, because the singer, and I am a singer, will make it their own. They can't help it.
Right.
And so I was, she was in the booth and I was recording and I was in the other booth listening. And I was like, real jittery about what she was doing. And she came in, it's in the book, Elvis, Rocky, Me. And she said, Carol, I love you dearly. She said, I love this song. I love you. Get the out of this recording session.
Wow.
And she threw me out.
What?
Because I was driving her crazy. She could see me freaking out when she would change something.
Yeah.
And she did a great job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
fantastic.
Champagne wishes
yeah.
and caviar dreams.
So you've been part of the public eye for decades. What is one or two things that we don't know about you that you'd wish to share? Something fun?
I have a terrible crush on Clint Eastwood.
I think he's single. I read he's single.
He's met me a couple. He's a musician.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God, he plays jazz piano and he's a
In
jazz
Carmel,
aficionado.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And he has a new film out called Juror 2.
So how come you didn't meet your agent?
We've met a couple times.
So how come the connection was
It just
Well, It wasn't right.
It
time,
wasn't at the right
place.
time, right?
Right place.
It wasn't.
You know what? No, Carol. We'll all go. And
One of the times was
we'll
at
bump
was at
into 'em.
Hefner's at Fight Night.
Oh my
And of
gosh.
course I was invited because I'm gonna fly now. And,
So he could have been the one, right?
oh, I've had a crush on him all my life.
Oh my gosh! Just
He could make my day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is
At
your
my night.
advice then for someone younger, coming up in the music industry?
Listen to what you want to do.
Okay.
Don't let people.
Dictate.
I love your great choice of words. Don't let people dictate to you what. Oh, you can't do this. My sister said to me. My sister's a wonderful artist, Cheryl Meadow. You can go to her website. She's incredible. And she once said to me, Annette, no, Carol, whatever your name is. She said, I never remember you. She's a year and a half younger. I never remember you as a child, when we were kids, saying can't, won't, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. You always said can, will,
Wow.
etc. Should, would, could. And I think it's to take that positive instead of, oh, I can't do that.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Just do it.
That's
Most
fantastic.
people are ingrained to think negative. Oh, I can't do this because it goes back to the prehistoric times when we were cave people, and
Some of them
we
still
had
are. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, we won't name any names here, but let's be nice. And, they did it for protection. The
Right.
fear, the negativity.
Like I can't go out because the lion,
The
the
bears
saber
are
tooth
gonna
is going to
come out.
come and kill me.
Yes. So, yeah, that's why. But, we have to mentally train ourselves to be positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
And I think it comes, that's the key to success, as Dahlia says. The key is to stay positive. And God knows I have had many rejections, just as everybody in this business has. But you just take the rejections and you pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you go
Wow.
onward and upward.
I like that.
Yes.
Great lesson.
Onward and upward.
You've been nominated for prestigious awards, including the Oscars. While, accolades are meaningful, what personal moments of recognition, those quiet moments of validation, mean the most to you?
When people come up to me like, I'm going to fly now, and they tell me that it has transformed their life. There was one man named Jonathan Koch, who was he's a wonderful producer, and he had this very, very rare disease, and they had to, what's the word I'm looking, and then put a new, and they,
Wow.
they put a new transplant.
Oh my gosh.
And he almost died, and he said that I was crying when you can go to ABC News and look it up, and it was from years ago, and he said that he would listen to Gonna Fly Now every single day. That touched my heart.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's
When people come up to me and say they were married with you, I'm born again. Come bring me your soft. It was the Billy Preston Sarita hit, and they go, that was our wedding song.
Wow.
I mean, those are moments that you don't forget because, in my mind, to be a good songwriter, you must be a great listener. That's number one. Hello. And I hear you knocking. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You must be a great listener. And you have to believe in yourself. It all comes down to, I'm not going to listen to what other people say. I'm going to do what I know I am destined to do.
Wow.
And then do it.
You know what? I'm curious about one thing. In this industry, it's almost impossible to find true, authentic friends and have those meaningful relationships. Who are some of your friends that you would... Because I've seen photos of you and Elizabeth Taylor, so I'm just curious.
Well, I met Elizabeth, but I guess... Tara's one of my friends, that
You can't
beautiful
see
Scarlett
Tara.
O'Hara there.
Yes.
Barbie Benton's my best friend.
Okay,
one of them.
let me.
Wait a minute, Sandra Strict has been one of my dearest friends.
Nice.
Carol Weir.
Yeah.
They're not all industry people.
That's
Barbie is.
wonderful.
She's legendary.
Yeah.
But Carol Weir created the slim suits, the bathing suits that when I'm scuba diving I sometimes wear. Just because I believe being a Scorpio, loyalty is so important.
Oh, yes. I
You know?
believe that too.
You have to be loyal to your
Of course.
friends.
Totally.
I read what Barbie said about you in your review. Something like you guys been close friends, and there's nobody else like Carol Connors, and she's like a spider web because it's so strong and so intricate. Your friendship, it will never break, and that you're so loyal to all your friends.
I try to be.
Yeah.
The music branch of the Oscars, because right now we're in pre-Oscar time and
Yes.
looking at all these films. I've seen some wonderful films. In fact, Tara and I saw a great film together called September 5.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's Paramount.
Okay.
And it's about the Olympics, the Munich Olympics.
Oh,
and then last night
wonderful.
I met J-Lo and I
Yeah.
saw... that's a great story. I saw Unstoppable. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so inspirational.
Wow.
And they use Rocky in it.
Oh,
There's many references to Rocky.
tell me something. Oh, do you get residuals from that? Did they have that back then, or
It's known as passive income.
what does that mean?
A lot of money.
Oh,
Wow.
oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
I should have been a comedian.
you really should have. You've got a great sense of humor.
Yes.
That's what Elvis said.
You know, seriously, something
did.
that I'm always curious about, looking at the industry today, a lot of young artists find it difficult to balance success, with personal fulfillment. How do you define success? And how has that definition evolved over the years for you?
I think success means that you're doing what you want. It's almost like God gives us all gifts.
Yeah.
And I think that if you pursue your gift, that and you become successful at it. Not everybody will. It's
Yes.
not meant to be. I mean, I just think that sometimes it's the journey
Yeah.
of doing what you love.
I love that.
I mean, you're doing what you love. You doing what you love.
Yes.
So is everyone in this room.
Of course.
And that's success to me.
Yeah. me
Because you feel good about yourself.
I have one quick question.
Okay.
What was the thing? Whose idea was it to put a piano at the bottom of the sea? Oh, okay.
Mine.
For Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Well, it was Robin Leach. Carol, we've sent you. That's how I talk.
Wow.
Carol.
Oh my
Let's
goodness.
see. We sent you. Look, we did your house, and we're using the theme, and we've sent you to Europe. What do you want to do? And we want to do another piece on you, and for Runaway with the Rich and Famous.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to take a piano, sink it off Honduras, the Bay Islands,
Wow.
and play Champagne Wishes and Caviar Dreams under the sea.
That's
and he said, run that by me again.
Wow, that is funny.
And we did it.
You did.
Wow.
Yeah, and I never hurt any of the environment.
That's
Because
amazing.
I'm a conservationist. So the bottom line is,
good.
it's in 80 feet of water off of Roritan, and I played it.
We're down to
Beautiful.
the last 2 minutes of
no.
the interview. I know it's gone by so quickly. Carol, if you were to have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
My God, that's like a question I asked at the Miss USA. I know my answer, but it's too dark. It's too dark. I don't want to say who.
Okay.
But only because I would want to know why this person that could have been such a good human being was a monster.
Amazing. Carol, thank you.
Can I do my dolphin call?
Of course.
Love it.
Yes, please.
But I'm hoarse today.
Of course.
Okay, but so I don't know if I can do it. But I want to thank you, and all the dolphins want to
course.
thank you for having me on.
Of course. Carol, thank you for sharing your wisdom and personal journey with us today. Your life has been a beacon of inspiration for so many. Obviously, she's got a book, Elvis, Rocky and Me, and your docufilm, Elvis, Rocky and Me. So when is that coming out?
Probably the beginning of the year, would you say? Yeah.
And where is that going to be on all the streaming services?
From your mouth to God's ears.
Thank you.
Can I do my dolphin call?
Go ahead. Carol,
That is so
thank
good.
you. I know.
I don't think I could do that.
Everybody tries to imitate me doing
This
this,
is
and I'm hoarse
It's
today.
been incredible. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
thank
sharing
you.
your journey. Tess, this has been wonderful.
It has.
I mean, what did you make out of just listening to such an incredible legend?
This woman is inspirational, and
thank you.
I would love to get her to know her more.
I know.
She's
Thank
lovely.
you.
And I hope a lot of folks go out and check out this inspirational interview. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this inspirational interview with the legendary Carol Connors.
Aren't you sweet?
Please
Thank you.
watch us on the Discovery Pod with Eve's YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you, Roger Neal, for producing this amazing episode. Thank you, Jamie. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Please make sure you tune in next week or watch us. You never know who's going to stop by. Until then, bye. Thanks again,
Thank you,
Carol. You're
sweetheart.
such a wonderful
Thank you.
inspiration. Thank you. This has been fun.